Hello, welcome to Some Notes on Style. I'm your host Joseph. It's the holiday season and y'all might have some holiday parties coming up. What are you gonna wear? I saw Business of Fashion and New York Times Style both had articles mentioning the return of the workplace holiday party, and both seem to be in somewhat of a state of stress regarding what you wear to such an event. Don't break the dress code! But no need to fret. Today we're going to run through a handful of ideas to help y'all through the apparent minefield of holiday dressing. Now, granted, some of these looks might be a bit formal or wacky for your average everyday, but hey, that's the point, isn't it? Holiday season only comes once a year. So, although everything will be generally rooted off a traditional formal black tie look, we're going to throw in a handful of variations that can make the traditional formal wear staple a little more fun. And of course, there are tons of rules around traditional classic formal wear, but we're not necessarily going to be getting into all the nitty gritty here. Instead, we're just going to throw some ideas about how to give yourself a bit of a holiday edge mixed in with your traditional pieces. So with that, let's get started. Number 1, do as Ralph does and throw in some beat up old denim with your tux. Sort of a Ralph Lauren personal signature, we rarely saw the man in a true black tie. There was always a little bit of an American rebel edge contrasted against the traditional formality of the black tie. Obviously, this has to be done in the right setting, and you've got to have a little bit of character to be able to pull this off. But it can be done well if you pay attention to the details. So in these variations, you can see a light, mid, and dark wash denim with quite a bit of fading. The distressed fading is a bit of a trick here because you don't want to go with just a clean, dark, rinse, raw denim, because the contrast between that and the black formal wear is too subtle. It almost looks like you're trying to pull a fast one. Instead, the more distressed denim gives enough of a punch that the statement seems a little more intentional. The guy on the left has got a nice satin jacket, a wing-collared shirt, and a black bow tie with a cherry red Stuart tartan scarf to help break up the high contrast of the formal and the casual. Then the guy in the middle, I got this great vintage Tom Ford for Gucci double-breasted velvet jacket, which really packs quite a statement in itself. So to tone everything else down with a crisp white spread collar dress shirt and a black knit tie, it helps bridge the formality road up and down. And in this case with a touch of the red tartan and a pocket square used for a little dash of color. Then on the right, the satin tuxedo jacket and traditional black bow tie is paired against a red plaid Oxford cloth sport shirt from Ralph Lauren, which again helps to bridge those jeans and formal wear into a balanced high-low mix with a sprinkle of festivity. That's kind of the trick between these three looks. Balance one or two formal pieces with one or two casual pieces. Then the blue jeans don't stick out too far if everything else is at varying steps of the formality spectrum. And of course, as a through line in all these looks are those festive tartan slippers and some cherry red socks with a little bit of flash of color around your ankles just in time for the holidays. Number 2, for sporty or casual formal wear, start with a base of a black t-shirt or sweater and some black jeans. In a more casual setting, obviously, not a true black tie event, if you want to look a little dressy and sporty at the same time, just stick with a classic black t-shirt and black jeans as solid foundation. In these examples, that helps to really pop a statement accessory or jacket quite nicely. For the guy on the left, I paired that satin tuxedo jacket to punch up the t-shirts and jeans. I popped the collar a little bit so that way it comes across as a little bit sporty and not too flat. Then the guy in the middle, you can easily mix it in a black and white Glen plaid for a nice touch of casual texture and carry that same red tartan scarf for a little bit of holiday note. Then the fella on the right has a nice dark gray flannel jacket which offsets the tonal black on black just enough, and again that red plaid scarf punches up the look to ensure a true holiday fit. On feet with all these looks, I've carried those punchy red socks for that little bit of festive cheer, in this case pairing them with some patent black panty loafers for a nice bit of dressy sporty and not overly formal. The nice thing about the black t-shirt and jeans as a foundation is you can really do almost no wrong with your choice of jacket up top. The solid base acts as a bit of a blank canvas for anything you throw over it. You could wear a black tweed or a black sequin jacket and you'd still be relatively safe with that casual underpinning down below. Number 3, keep that tone-on-tone base, this time around with a green tartan for a touch of the holiday spirit. Same general concept applies here with the sporty foundation of black on black or gray on gray. The guy on the left probably at his most casual. I got the black polo shirt, some elastic waistband drawstring pants, and some black espadrilles for a nice warm weather interpretation of a sporty formal look. The tartan jacket is left to do most of the talking here. Then the fellow in the middle has got the same idea of a foundation, this time a little warmer with some gray flannels and a heathered gray cashmere sweater in that matching medium gray texture. Then punching up the formality, a great shawl collar green velvet formal jacket with a bold tartan scarf, almost like a kilt thrown around the neck to add a little bit of holiday flair. Then the fellow on the right is taking a cue from the last group of guys with that black t-shirt and jeans underneath his tartan, and that punch of red socks underneath those loafers really jumps out here. The biggest thing you want to be sure of is when you pick your green tartan, keep an eye out for something like a black watch plaid that has a black ground within its pattern paired against the green and gold highlight color. The black ground doesn't always make the jacket as versatile for everyday wear, but it really does wonders when you pair it with some black on black for an evening affair. Number 4, speaking of plaid, nothing says the holidays quite like buffalo plaid. Traditional English tartan's rugged American cousin, buffalo plaid is not for the faint of heart. Here in the United States, it's a pretty common flannel shirt motif a lot of guys already have in their closet. And if they don't, it's pretty easy to pick up from just about any thrift store around the corner. Buffalo plaid can be found high and low from just about any brand in a wide variety of pieces, most commonly a brushed cotton flannel shirt. But you can work your way up to Filson Mackinac jackets, LL Bean Trapper jackets, or some old vintage JCPenney Big Macs. Mostly they just look really great around the holidays because they got that awesome lumberjack Santa Claus vibe. So with these guys, we're really mixing it up. Similar to the blue jeans and tuxedo, this time around we got another classic American staple shoved right up against the formality of the black tie look. The fellow on the left has got that crisp white spread collar dress shirt from Charles Tyrwhitt and a black satin Dunhill necktie, cherry red cardigan, and black jeans. Obviously pairing the cherry red against a bold red buffalo plaid is a real slap in the face, but grounding the look with a nice black tie foundation somehow brings it back down to earth. And then the fellow in the middle is playing around with those gray flannels once again. This time I've got a gray flannel shirt from LL Bean paired with a gray heathered wool necktie, really evening out the tonality. And realistically, you'd have to be a pretty trim guy to shove all that into the waistband of some dress pants without some weird bulk. But it does help to give a defined waist in this instance, which helps to keep everything looking sharp and formal. Then the fellow on the right, I've got a similar trick to the cardigan on the left, this time around with a cherry red chamois shirt from LL Bean. Layered as a mid-layer, this time around with a true formal black bow tie. Hey, if you show up like this, technically it's black tie, but they sure as hell weren't expecting that. And that's the fun of the buffalo plaid thrown in with the formal wear. It's unexpected, but it certainly gives an impression of the holiday season visually, and the white, black, and red color palette remains as classic as they come. Number 5, if the buffalo plaid shirt jacket is a bit much, try throwing it on as a casual shirt and tie combo. With these looks, the buffalo plaid takes a bit of a backseat to your dress shirt layer. The guy on the left is wearing it, in this case, under the LL Bean chamois shirt as a shirt jacket and some black jeans. The guy on the right is wearing it underneath that heavy dark gray flannel sport jacket and some black jeans here again as well. And making sure you get black jeans and not black pants helps to bridge the casual formal line, because you are wearing a flannel shirt trying to pass it off as formal attire. The jeans help to balance out that equation. And as far as necktie, on both of these looks, I got a black silk knit tie, which really is the only kind of neckwear you should wear with this kind of casual shirt, because it's the sportiest of neckties around, and its nubby texture complements the brushed cotton in that flannel. And the other thing to pay attention to is your shirt collar. Obviously, you're never going to find a true dress shirt collar in a buffalo plaid. Just make sure that the points are long and straight enough that you do not have either some skimpy button down or some weird vintage shape that covers up your tie knot. When you start trying to put a tie with a sports shirt, it's never going to be exactly right, but you can try to find something that will be passable if you pay attention. Sometimes another trick to getting around a bad collar is to throw in a collar pin underneath the knot, which helps to give a little bit of a dressier shape to a bad collar. Number 6, if you've got a handful of semi-formal separates, just try throwing in a red cardigan. If you got a nice collection of semi-formal odds and ends and sport jackets and odd trousers, you can pull a holiday look together a little tighter with a punch of holiday red and a classic button-down cardigan or a thin sweater layer. If you got a good foundation of a crisp white dress shirt and a black tie, that red cardigan will really jump away from the rest of the look and give you quite a presence. If you want to wear it in a more ironic Mr. Rogers way or in a more casual setting, you can wear it by itself like the guy in the middle. In this case, I happen to have some tartan flannel pants which really add that holiday zing and give the red cardigan its appropriate context. But if you happen to have an odd jacket around like the guy on the left or the right, wearing that cardigan as a true waistcoat vest layer, it really does a number for any sport jacket it's paired with. If you take that punch of red away from these looks, they get pretty drab pretty fast. But that little touch of red sweater layer and you've got a nice punch around the corner. And of course, having those nice cherry red socks against your black penny loafers, you're carrying that little bit of red from your head down to your toes. Cherry red socks are probably the easiest way to make any footwear seem a little more festive and not too expensive either. You can easily order a good quality pair from Uniqlo. These guys though, I grabbed in a pinch from my local JCPenney on a 2-for-1 clearance sale. But in general, those little punches of red can do a lot of heavy lifting and firmly placing your outfit well into the holiday territory. Number 7, if you're having fun, why not have some fun in your pants? Alright, take it easy, this is an office party after all. But speaking of punches of red, another great way to do it is with some cherry red corduroys. Or if you can find them, like the fellow in the middle, some nice tartan trousers. But in general, keeping the fun at your pants level, we're keeping some of the same tricks that we learned in the beginning with the blue jeans. Because in both of these instances, sometimes the best way to keep the formality is to keep the formal wear nice and formal. Like we see in the fellas in the middle and the right, they've either got a traditional wing collar tuxedo shirt or a spread collar dress shirt. But both guys have a clean classic black bow tie and a black double-breasted velvet jacket. Now, velvet and corduroy might be a little too brushy. This probably would work better with a more traditional tuxedo jacket, but hey, I'm just working with what I got. Then the fellow on the left, I've got that gray flannel sport coat. Plot twist, it's actually a 3-piece suit. So I broke it up, kept the waistcoat and jacket together with a gray flannel shirt and a tartan wool necktie to help balance out those cherry reds down below. Normally, I'm not a big fan of dark colored shirt and a necktie, but in this case, because all those grays are working together so well, I feel like it helps to balance out the boldness of those red cords. But again, with these looks, if you've got a holiday party that is slightly more informal than formal, you can comfortably throw in a corduroy with your formal wear and just jazz up the party a little bit. But you want to be very conscious of the context of your setting, obviously. In some ways, if you've got a semi-formal office, showing up in a modified black tie can be a bit of a fun, ironic statement in itself, and the fact that you really went for it. But mixing it up with some fun pants, you're obviously not taking it too seriously. On the other hand, if you're attending a true black tie formal affair, fun pants might be a little inappropriate. So if you're going to go this route, just be informed of your dress code before you make your final outfit decision. And finally, number 8, if stricter rules do apply, but you still want to have fun in your formal wear, you can push the boundaries just a bit if you pay attention to the fabric. So with these guys, we got my presentation of the most formal styling. But there's a little bit of an edge with these looks because I didn't just rent them from Men's Warehouse. No, these are some pieces that I have collected over the years when I was a young fashion student in New York going to Parsons. In addition to that Tom Ford for Gucci velvet double-breasted blazer I got in the center, I also came across a once-in-a-lifetime chance to pick up a Tom Ford for Yves Saint Laurent satin one-button peak lapel suit, as seen on the guys flanking either side. A full satin suit is not for the faint of heart, and definitely not something you want to wear with any sort of high visibility lighting because you will shine bright like a diamond. But what I do think it adds is a touch of surface interest in these looks, in the fact that you can find examples of formal wear integrating touches of satin or velvet, and in the right way, mind you, you can play safely in the vocabulary of traditional formal wear and still make a bold personal choice, assuring even the most staunch advocates for adherence to custom by dancing around those rules and still come out with something that is truly unique and personal to your own style. And of course, for the final gut punch and middle finger out the door, I threw in those cherry red socks and tartan slippers once again. So that's going to wrap us up. With that, we got a handful of looks up and down the formal spectrum for holiday dressing. Like I said before, just be aware of the context of the setting to let you know which of these looks you'd like to throw into your own fit rotation. Obviously, some of these looks are too formal for casual settings and others are too casual for formal settings, but sometimes that's the real trick to it. In this day and age, to my mind, these days, we live in a time where there actually aren't a lot of rules for how you're supposed to dress. So sometimes having a little bit of extra fun around the holidays is the best way to prove that you're not taking yourself too seriously and you're enjoying putting together looks to celebrate occasions with those around you. And sometimes busting out of the guardrails just a little bit while still dancing within the lines proves that it's all in good fun and we're just enjoying the moment together. So that being said, I hope you all are having the happiest of holidays this season and enjoying every minute of every day. I certainly appreciate you all spending these minutes with me here on my channel. And if you'd like to get a few extras in your mailbox, head on over to Patreon and become a distinguished gentleman so you can get the Some Notes on Style notebook in your mailbox, lots of inspirational tear sheets, and breakdowns to all these looks featured each month. Or if you're enjoying the video, please give me a thumbs up and punch that subscribe button if you haven't already. Once again, the channel is Some Notes on Style. I'm your host, Joseph. Happy holidays, everybody. See you again next year. Bye.